Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Hey, Wednesday, October 8th, 2025.
Hump day. Get that hump off your back.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
It's happening right now.
Hey.
Trying to wake on up on this hump day, October the 8th, 2025. Good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul Beeee. He's Buddy to Gawd. In every room we go into where there's a bunch of people in Omaha, Nebraska, we say we're from First Sky Omaha, and the whole room goes, in the morning. It's a good thing. It's a
Hey.
beautiful thing to see. Appreciate you guys coming on in early this morning. I am Paul B, and I am under the weather today, so you have to bear with me. It
Man.
is 44 degrees right now in Omaha, Nebraska.
Brr.
If you're in the area, and I don't appreciate it. I don't
Man.
appreciate it.
Wasn't it just like 80 last week?
Yeah,
Yeah, sounds
88,
about right. Par for the
88.
course.
Yeah, so it's a little chilly, weather change, people going through allergies and things again, like
Oh,
myself.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let us know how you're feeling. I appreciate you guys getting up. I see you in the morning already early this morning. Kimber is giving us a good morning, y'all. Good morning to you.
Hey.
Michelle Moreno, good morning, everyone. Hey, Arias 402 says hit the like button. Says you was in Wyoming last show, right? You still out there? Mama God gives us a good morning, fam. Appreciate you.
Hey.
Marlon Harrison says, good morning, First Sky family. Happy Wellness Wednesday. I wish I was feeling well.
Man.
I'm under the weather, y'all. Pop says, good Wednesday morning. Mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you, Pops. And Leia Keiser gives us a what's up Wednesday.
What's happening?
Lots going on. What's happening, man? This is season 3B. Space is the place. And we'd be remiss if we weren't talking about a little bit of Afrofuturism during this season.
Hey.
Yep. Everybody knows already. We're going to have Miss Jade Rogers on a little later on in the show. So stay tuned for her. She's the head of House of Afro Capes and Curls. And she's the one that puts on Afrocon every year. She's going to be talking about Afrocon coming up. And, all things Afrofuturism because
Hey.
that's what it's all about with us. So, yeah, space is the place. And that's what it is for us. We got lots to talk about today as well. But before we get into it, how you doing today, buddy? How you feeling?
Man, I'm all right. I'm all right. Stomach chiming up a little bit, but I'll be all right.
Got
I'll
that
be all
bad
right.
guts going on.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It might have been something I ate yesterday, but we all good. Other than that, everything is everything. Looking forward to having the conversations here on First Sky Nation, as Sean McCarthy is calling it. Good morning to you. Yeah, man. Of course, a lot going on. Paying attention and trying to get into the thick of things. Stay on top of it to be prepared to have the conversation with you all. So looking forward to your input. As always, let your mind be free, let your voice be heard. Folks coming in, Skilo Slim, peace God. Good morning to you.
What's
Yeah,
happening?
yeah,
What's
yeah,
happening?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Paul, man, hope you get better, man. I know there's changes in the seasons and things like that, man. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nah,
Get
man,
well
I'm
soon.
I'm definitely it's definitely right at the beginning of this. So I'm looking at having a hard few days here for sure. Sinus infection coming on and feeling the whole thing. So yeah, man, watch out, keep yourself safe. I got the lemons, I got the honey, I got the tea ready though. So we're gonna get busy with it. We're gonna
Okay,
get with
you
it.
you have like an air purifier?
Yeah, air purifier definitely has been running. Just a lot to it. We turning the heat on again is
Yeah.
that first heat smell that's when it's been sitting there for a little minute coming through the filters. I'm sure there's some stuff in there that got you all jacked up. There's a lot to it, but we'll push through. One good thing about this show, it don't take much but to sit up and have a conversation. So that's
That part, that part, that
that's
part.
what I can NyQuil up for a little bit and be able to sit here for a minute. Be good. If I start
Zombie
drifting,
along.
if I start drifting off in the second hour, you know why. That's what it is. Let's go ahead and jump into some things. I see RG giving us a morning, y'all. Appreciate you coming in, man. Sean McCarthy says, "Stay well, both of you. Push those fluids. Got to
Man, yeah, yeah.
hitting that OJ hard, all that good stuff. Appreciate you." Also, I see Arrows 402 says Newcastle, Wyoming today, Alliance, Nebraska for tomorrow. Okay, well,
Okay, okay.
staying on the move.
Man, out there on the tracks.
That's right. There you go. A few community updates going on. Of course, we need to start with our events that are coming up here. The first got Omaha Fun Fest fundraiser and celebration is happening.
Hey, type in.
Yeah, yeah. It's for insider information. We got the trophies ordered, and we're gonna be giving away some awards and things. So, yeah, man. If you haven't registered for this yet, then go ahead and do that. Let me get the registration in the chat here for you
Yeah,
for you exclusive chat chimer registration right here. So go ahead and hit that up, or if you haven't hit your inbox yet to see if you got an invite, then check that out too. But yeah, this is happening at the Omaha Press Club Saturday, October 18th. A happy hour from 5:30 to 7:30. It's not one of those all night events. You know, come casual, come have some hors d'oeuvres, come a fellowship with your fellow first sky friends and everybody that's going to come through here.
mm-hmm.
And we'll have a little celebration for people that are doing the kind of work that we're trying to do here, which is have these conversations, spread this news, and really talk about the news that's affecting us in our neighborhoods specifically, and the ones that a lot of the stuff that the mainstream news sometimes leaves out.
Man.
So everybody that's doing that, just realize another cat, Peyton Hogan, is has a podcast. I didn't realize that was going on too. So there's some podcasts out there doing some real good work, some real good help in the same vein that we're working in. So we're going to try to celebrate those people right along with all the other reporters and journalists that are out there trying to bring the news and uncover the truth.
Man, that
That's what it's
part.
all about.
News gang, news gang.
News gang. Got more videos coming pretty soon. Lanes of change is happening. The elements of revolution is going down. Go to our YouTube page and check out our series on lanes of change. That's moving right along. We got some that's going to break soon, so go ahead and hit that bell so that when they do drop, you'll be able to get that notification. While you're over there, please like and subscribe and check out some of the other videos that are there and some past shows that are on there as well because there's some
Hey.
really good interviews on those past shows for sure. Yep. Also, in what's going on today? Of course, we're going to be talking to Jade. So Afrocon is coming up soon too. I was looking for if I can find the flyer, but I can't find it right this minute. But we'll definitely talk to her a little bit about Afrocon that's about to happen. Stay tuned for that. Also, I saw the fellas over there at 87.9 are getting ready to
Yeah.
have a huge event. This is tonight at 7 o'clock. They're going to be on the radio talking to Leo Lewis, Senator Terrell McKinney, Brother Kasim, and Brother Sherman Wells. Look at that lineup. That's a revolutionary lineup right there. They're going to be talking about it. We All Family Show with Joshua L. Stupo, one of my favorite entertainers in Nebraska, in a
Man.
big way, man. And shout out to the fellas over there at 87.9, man. You know, they got the radio station up and they play the music and they do the thing. Shout out to DJ Mr. Soul. But they also are stepping into the game a little bit, man, talking about grown people stuff like this. This
Oh
is what's
yeah,
up. Yeah, really appreciate what they're doing over there at 87.9. I see partnerships in the future here, so we'll be talking about it.
for sure.
But yeah, definitely check them out. If you haven't checked out 87.9, you can get it on Google Play or app at the App Store as well. I believe you can go to their website and listen to it as well. So as a digital radio station, if you don't know about it, the big one in Omaha right now is 87.9 digital station. So they're getting down over there in a big way. They got a lot of good shows, a lot of good talent. And as you can see, they're bringing on a lot of good interviews and stuff like that now too. So definitely check them out 7 o'clock tonight and support them as well if
Yeah.
you would.
And again, it is digital. Don't get in your car, turn to 87.9 and expect to hear something because no, no.
No,
It's online. It's
it's
online.
online. Also, Black Agenda Alliance has the Youth and Young Adult Male Mental Health Awareness
Man,
event that's happening the same day as our event, but a little earlier in the day from 12 to 3, October 18th. It's going to be at 2123 Pierce Street in Omaha, presented by Black Agenda Alliance, Urban Survival Club, and Young Black Kings. Man, get
nice.
down with that. You can get some info by hitting info at baaomaha.com. Shout out to the Black Agenda Alliance and everything they're doing with the youth. Big time, man. Boots to the roots with the youth, man. Like I said, I talk about it all the time. I sat in a room where I saw a youth stand up and say, "Yeah, I think I need some help. Why don't you guys help me out?" And it was like, "We got you, young man." You know what I'm saying?
Man, so that's what we need, man. That's really ultimately what it's about.
Big time. Marlon Harrison, shout out to Marlon Harrison for updating this flyer. He put the new flyer up. Fifth annual homecoming block party is coming on Saturday the 11th at the historic Omaha Star. They're gonna be hosting it over there. 2216 North 24th Street in Omaha, Nebraska. This is where culture meets the community. I love this. Nebraska HBCU Greek Collaborative. Yeah, man, they're gonna be out there partying. One thing I do know a little bit about some of the Greek groups too is they be out there partying.
Oh
You know,
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
who's the cats that do they use the Atomic Dog song? Because that's how I
Oh yeah,
got
the
on it.
Q's, the Bruz. Yeah. Yeah.
Bro.
Mega Sci-Fi. Shout out.
Man, hey, listen, man. I used to DJ. I've been DJing since I was 15. There has been times that I've been at parties and I will drop Atomic Dog because I'm a George Clinton man, funk dude. Just gonna drop Atomic Dog, and you will see cats coming out of the woodwork
Oh yeah.
from outside.
Oh yeah.
They got a whole choreography thing going on. They be stomping the yard in a big way.
Yeah, I used to do that. Again, back in high school, y'all might have seen me, stomping in some parades. I was part of a mega sci-fi that had an organization called the Squires, Omega Squires at Omaha North. So yeah, shout out to old man, Mr. Thomas, like the whole crew, man. Shout out to Omaha Bros. Definitely, wrap their arms around me, So big shout out. Yeah, a lot of people in Omaha specifically are part of Greek life, doing things in the community. So
I love
big
it.
shout
That's
out.
what's up. Big shout out, man! What a visionary idea to go ahead and host this over at Omaha Star. Shout out to Terry Sanders, everybody that's behind what's going on here too. I appreciate that. Also, definitely want to mention that we're still in the 100th year of the celebration of Malcolm X, and the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation is doing some pretty big things, man. You definitely need to go check them out. Go to their website and check it out. That's Malcolm X Memorial Foundation.org, and check out what they got going on. Here's a little bit that they put out there. The Spike Lee's Malcolm X film screening is happening October 19th at Film Streams. So that's gonna be what's up. Also feature what is that's feature 19, what is 1X? That's a shame.
9,
I should know
feature
that.
9.
Feature 9 with Spike. There you go. Feature 9 with Spike Lee at the Holland Center. That's what we've been talking about. This is coming up with Spike
Yep.
Lee is going to be in town, so definitely check that out. And yeah, that's what's up, man. And also, the Terrence Blanchard thing is what I'm tripping on right now. October 11th, Terrence Blanchard, jazz artist, is coming to is going to be interviewed, and also there's going to be a performance. He's the one that did the score for Malcolm X film,
Man.
so he's going to be in town. Shout out to them. They partner with the uh, Omaha. What I can't remember.
Symphony?
No, the yeah, well, the symphony too, but the Omaha Performing Arts. Didn't think of the name of the organization.
Mm.
OPA, Omaha Performing Arts, and Malcolm X Memorial Foundation partnered on this thing with Terrence Blanchard, and I thought that was a heavy move. So I'll be looking out for some of the stuff that's going on with them. They still got a lot going on, and they're gonna be in conversation about what to do in the future at Malcolm X Memorial Foundation. Definitely encourage you, if you're into that at all, to let your voice be heard there. Definitely go speak up, go talk about it a little bit, go find out what they got going on. So there you go. That's some of the haps that's going on right now. We'll come back to some more a little bit later. I see Judy Prinzler in the chat saying morning, fam. Good morning to you. Also,
Hey.
Carol Warner says good morning, first guy Omaha and all chat chimers. She knows who she talking to. That's what's up. Appreciate you. Mama Guy said casual attire. Thanks for the heads up. I was preparing for Black Tie Affair. We're gonna keep it casual with the happy hour this time for our event on the 18th.
Hmm.
We will do a black tie next year. We're gonna do a little bit bigger of a thing next year for sure. But we're already kind of gearing up for that. But this one's kind of our first one, so it's the introduction, and we really want everybody to just show up. So don't feel pressure to not come just because you think that you got to dress up. Dress up, cool. I'm gonna probably dress up a little bit too, but we definitely we'd rather see you there than worry about what you got on, and that goes on. That goes with anything we do, to be honest. So yeah, we really appreciate everybody who's been checking us out, and everybody that's in the chat right now. I'll get back to some of these things a little later. Donnell Sessions give us a good morning. Appreciate that.
Hey.
Anthony Rogers, Wright, El Haj Malik, France Fanon, Medgar Evers, Amilcar Cabral, all 100 this year. Wow,
Man.
that's pretty
Man.
crazy. Wow.
Man. Actually reminded me, I just watched I Am Not Your Negro, which
Mm-hmm.
features, stories of Medgar Evers and El Haj Malik Shabazz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. Go
Go
check
check
it
it
out.
out. I
Even
am
if
not
you
your
have,
Negro.
go check it out.
I was gonna say I'm gonna check it out again for sure.
Yeah, man.
James
Yeah,
Baldwin,
man.
one of my favorite speakers.
Yeah.
Yep.
And actually very, very relevant to a lot of things we're talking about here on the show recently over the last couple weeks. So with that, you want to jump in? We're about 15 minutes into the hour. How you feeling?
Yeah, yeah. Let's go ahead and dive into what we're going to talk about today. Just want to give a shout out to Linda, who's in there, saying good morning. Appreciate you. Mama God said thanks for the heads up. No problem, no problem.
For sure.
What's going on? What's the thread for today, buddy? What's on your mind?
Man, I mean, as always, chat chimers touching on a few things that we'll be talking about today. Shout out to Sean McCarthy giving us some information. He says the tech industry layoffs finally hit home yesterday. Was laid off after 6 years. My heart goes out to all
Oh,
those who are worried about being replaced by AI. Man, sorry to hear that. But it sounds like you're joining the ranks again. It's being reported that actually Nebraska is continuing with some layoffs in response from Governor Pillen's I guess realization that Nebraska is going down the slippery slope as far as finances. This isn't the first layoffs actually on the state level, and this is connected to the government shutout. Again, looking at what is the forecast, if you will, as far as the government shutdown is actually some things to look out for as far as WIC. So expect some impact there as far as people's bottom line, but also on the top level. Again, there's been some layoffs and things going down. So yeah, we'll be talking about that. But again, stateside, haven't really been able to look at exactly what's going on with the McCook situation. That is still ongoing, actually. Some timelines and some dates being reported. So just an update on that situation. But of course, we have to talk about the shooting that took place. A lot of people chiming up about, again, the shooting that took place at Quick Trip just a couple of days ago. Omaha Mayor John Ewing and Chief Todd Schmaderer chiming up. A lot of people commenting. Again, of course, I know a lot of you in the chat have a lot of thoughts, so we'd definitely love to hear your voice on this and continuing the conversation about, again, community and police relations, but not just that, but of course the issue of mental illness is coming up in this situation as well. And of course, as we talk about space is the place, no space is more important than the space between your ears. Again, your mental space. It all starts in us building a community, us building the future that we would like to see where we all can thrive. It all starts in the mind. So again, definitely want to talk about that. But also, speaking of development and building up the community, I do want to speak about some affirmative as far as space is the place. Big shout out to the sisters who are building a looks like a senior center, or again 4 units that will be available for seniors, which again, shout out to brother Sherman Wells, who kind of tipped us off to how some of our elder brothers and sisters are being treated. More to come from that story, but we will continue the conversation again here on First Guy Omaha in the morning. As always, if there's anything on your hearts and minds that we're not talking about, feel free to drop that into the chat. Let your mind be free. More importantly, let your voice be heard. Again, we're here live for the next 2 hours. In the meantime, between time, Paul B,
yo, yo.
what's the word?
Man, I can't wait till we get to that story because I definitely want to talk about these two sisters, Jendaya Frazier and Tracy Smith, who basically are revitalizing some homes in the area that they grew up in. Stay tuned for that story for real. And also stay tuned for our interview with Jade Rogers.
Yeah, man.
She's in the building. We're going to be talking about some Afrofuturism. Where do we see black people in the future? Where is the space we will be? We'll be talking about that and Afrocon coming up, that her event that she does every year as well. So stay tuned for that. And with that, we'll take a quick break and we'll come back in and jump into some of these stories. Again, thank you guys for joining us this morning, getting up early with us and having these conversations. Do us a favor, share the show if you're on Facebook. Easy to do. Share the show on your page. And if you are on YouTube, share the link with anybody who you think might benefit from being in this conversation and having a little bit deeper discussion about what's going on in our neighborhoods, especially. I will be right back. My name is Paul B. I'm a little under the weather today, so please bear
Man.
with me. Buddy the God is here with us. And
Hey.
and all of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, everybody. Stay tuned, y'all. We'll be right back. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Hey.
Intend to play the role that Germans play. We have to show them by our actions that we do not intend to play the role that the Jews play.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning. Sorry. Had some in my eye. Had to get myself together.
What's in your eyes stopping your voice from singing? See, look.
I couldn't concentrate. Couldn't see the note.
Appreciate you guys coming on in. Miss Kimber Snipes in the chat says, my son says that his biggest issue with the police department is how when someone does something wrong within it, they all stick together and defend them. Yeah, he don't want to join the gang. I understand.
Gang, 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 gang. The blue shield.
She said it just makes you wonder, does that loyalty ever go away? I heard there's a whole lot of pressure to keep that loyalty inside, and the reason why people usually do. And it's very extreme when they don't. So
Man.
the extreme things sometimes happen when they cross that blue line, and that's unfortunate. We'll definitely be talking about it. Heather Williams in the chat saying, "Good morning, everyone. Appreciate that." Ariel's 402 says, "Love, love, love the hashtag in the descriptions. The guests have their own hashtags they like to use as well." Hey, I've been trying, bro. I've been taking your advice and trying to build it out a little bit better. Wanda Lewis gives us a good morning. Appreciate you very much. Appreciate all the chat chimers that we call chat chimers because you consistently come back and jump into the chat with great information, great questions, and
Man.
great respect for the guests that we bring on. And we really appreciate that. As we stated a little earlier, stay tuned. We have special guest Jade Rogers coming on a little bit later in the show. So stay tuned for her. But in the meantime, between time, we're going to jump into some stories. Buddy, what's first on the agenda?
Yeah, a lot of times we kind of talk about the issues and reasonably so. Solutions journalism is an angle that we try to approach here on the show. So we talk about the issues and try to find solutions. But there's times when solutions are already being found, and I definitely want to talk about the affirmative, especially here in the season of Space is the Place. Of course, we talk about the idea, the desire to build a community, to build our environment, to impact our environment, for us to thrive in the future, especially those who are of the environment. And this story is definitely a part of that. And beyond that, also taking care of our elderly brothers and sisters, which is a whole nother conversation. But again, big shout out to the two sisters, Jade Frazier and Tracy Smith. Again, they grew up in the area of 28th and Pratt. Shout out to actually Melissa Wright doing the good work on the report from Channel 3.
Hey.
And talking about these two sisters who are preparing to build a senior care home in the area where their grandparents did the very same thing back in the 50s. That legacy apparently inspired Frazier to include accessible, affordable housing for both families and seniors in a new 4-unit project. Again, the project, which is led by Jade Frazier, is deeply personal. According to the article, it says Frazier and her cousin Tracy Smith grew up right on the block where they spent their childhoods playing hopscotch, volleyball, and baseball. And today, they still live in the neighborhood. And they say it's been quiet for years. The stark contrast from the lively community that she remembers. Frazier says her inspiration for the project, of course, comes from her grandparents who decades ago purchased extra land near their home and turned it into a senior living facility, again, back in the 50s. With families still expected to begin moving in by month's end, actually. So this project is already well underway. Neighbors are hopeful this project will bring back some of the warmth, laughter, and community spirit that once filled this North Omaha block. And I think it's not just the block, but many people kind of saying, the feeling of community, kids playing outside, just people being outside, living alive with one another, is something that seems fewer and far between. But again, a project similar to what we saw with Brother Don Curry, the community, the surrounding neighbors rallying around it, of the community, for the community. When we talk about development, when we talk about building up, this is what we're talking about.
Yeah, we have a major housing problem, so it's on a small scale. But if everybody did a little bit on a small scale, we can solve that, especially in our neighborhood.
Man,
And this is definitely something I love to see. So shout out to these sisters, man. Every time I hear a story about anybody who was living in the neighborhood and decided to help revitalize that neighborhood and continue the traditions of the neighborhood, can't help but be happy about that. They can easily, if they had resources to be able to get into real estate, they had the ability to make a whole lot of money on real estate right now because that's what it is. But they wanted to make sure that things were halfway affordable and also that the elderly gets taken care of.
man,
Care is huge, bro. I haven't heard anybody doing any development beyond retirement homes and stuff like that that cater to the elderly. So that's what's up. You know,
man.
I think if I were to get into real estate myself, I would definitely be looking into putting units together that did cater to people who can grow old in their own homes. You know
Man,
what I'm saying? Like, I always thought about that. That's the way to do that. Like, you should set it up for when you do get old. Like, why, why not? And also, you got to think about rent control. Anthony Rogers, right in the chat, he talks about this kind of thing a lot too. Rent control in certain areas that stays steady for the time that you're there. If anybody's gonna do it, it's gonna be people like us, like these sisters here that are in the community doing it. So shout out to them in a big way. I don't want to go too far about it, but I just want to, give them some flowers, man. Janaea Frazier and Tracy Smith are doing the thing for real.
big time, big time. But I want to camel back on that. I was actually just watching a interview between Bud Crawford and Andre Rison, and or Andre Ward, excuse me. And I didn't know that Bud owned like 11 houses on the street that is named
He wants to own all of them.
the whole block, man.
Right.
So of course, not all of us, has the purse as Bud Crawford does. But again, the idea of quote unquote buying back the hood, if you will, and that level and that direction of development, we're all here for it. And anytime we hear stories about this, definitely want to highlight that. So again, big shout out to all the chat chimers that shared that story on Friends of. But also that the angle of taking care of our elderly. I love what you're saying about that. We spoke to Brother Sherman Wells last week about a story of a brother, which more information will come out about that. There is more conversation happening. But again, if you remember, a brother was being not taken care of in a facility, he had bed sores and things like that. I know a close friend of mine lost her grandmother to a UTI that possibly could have been avoided. Yeah, so again, we don't really talk about these, and not to mention what was coming out as far as the news during COVID on how some of our elderly brothers and sisters, were being treated. So, yeah, man, big shout out to those who are looking out for our elderly brothers and sisters.
Big time, big time. Appreciate that. Let us know about if you ever had any experiences there. We are definitely gathering some experiences about some of the homes, some of the retirement homes, and things that are happening in light of what Sherman Wells uncovered. Can't wait for you guys to really see more of his story. He sent us photos of that brother that of the bed sores and stuff. It's so hard to look at. It's crazy. As soon as he shown any light on it at all, crews of people were coming in there. They said they had 5 or 6 nurses lined up to come in there and clean that room up, clean his bed sores up real fast and all that because they were bringing the news in. So this is just another indication of like the reason why we got to do. You hold the powers that be accountable, and a lot of times we talk about politicians, but you can also talk about hospital staff,
Man,
restaurant staff, gas station attendants. How many times has Sherman rolled up with a camera somewhere and then people straighten on right on up? So, news gang, be a part of it. Get down.
news gang, definitely. But let's keep it moving, man. From taking care of our elderly to taking care of our mental illness. Let's just, where I'm going with this. Let's just go ahead and dive into it. Of course, the big news that broke last what was that Monday? Actually, was that Monday? Again, an officer involved shooting at a Quick Trip. Again, a lot of people have chiming up, a lot of conversation happening. Thankfully, more details coming out, more information. A lot of people kind of having things to say about the fact that the body cam footage and pictures were released so soon. Immediately. So that's a whole nother conversation. But what I want to pick up on this is a conversation that actually happened on Friends of. Shout out to Chat Chimer and friend of First Guy Omaha, sister Bonnie Castellano. Apologize if I'm slaughtering your name. But again, she had a point that I definitely wanted to echo and agree with. And actually, this is something that if you didn't catch it, Mayor John Ewing even responded to in Friends of First Guy Omaha. So you can catch that full conversation there. But again, Bonnie says the suspect in the shooting of an Omaha police officer seemed to be a man who was having a mental illness crisis. Witnesses said he wasn't making sense and was agitated. As long as mental health care is not available to people with guns, to people, and guns are readily available, this scenario will continue to repeat itself with sad results. If more funding was available to help mentally ill people, think of the lives and money we could save. The people who are mentally ill could receive treatment and avoid incarceration, saving the taxpayers thousands of dollars a year. And also mentally ill people could avoid being killed by the police, like Zachary Bearhills, rest in peace, and countless others. 8 people have lost their lives in police custody. And the Douglas County Sheriff's, as the last review, custody of OPD and the Douglas County, or excuse me, the press conference from Schmatter and Ewing. She says made her a little sick. Would definitely love to hear your thoughts and responses to what you heard from Mayor Ewing and Chief Schmatter. But she goes on to say the mentally ill man was used as a foil to shame critics of the often questionable demeanor of the Omaha police. This incident could have instead been used to shine a light on the need for mental health care and gun control, which is where we want to see take this conversation as far as mental health and gun control. Of course, we know that mental health is something, especially in the Omaha area, you don't really get assistance on unless you have a run-in with the police, unless you have a case, unless you're already arrested and having to face court. So again, this situation is unfortunate. Both ends. I will like to say that, regardless of our critiques of the Omaha police, we're happy that nobody died in the situation. We don't want to see, anybody lose their lives, regardless of political ideologies, leanings, any of that. We don't want to see that. So again, definitely happy that this officer, survived the situation. But you can't help but to think how it would have played out had this been a cahoots call, had this been an actual mental health staff member who was available. And per the reports, it was kind of clear that there was something mentally was going on with this man. He wasn't just robbing somebody. It was some incoherence going on with some of these police calls and things like that. So again, I'll tee it up. Paul, what say you? I see a few people in the chat. We want to go with it.
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to echo what you just said about that. Any critique that we have about the police doesn't involve wanting the police to be shot or killed or hurt. Recognize that they do the job, and it is the job. In the chat right now, Wanda Lewis is saying, whatever happened to the mental health staff that the Omaha Police Department was or have obtained for mental health services. Last we talked about this, I think there was one person per precinct or something like that was
Yeah.
available.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a lot of help. And in this particular case, I'm not really sure if that would have been the right call to call a mental health expert in on this particular person, because this person was armed and ended up shooting somebody. So it makes me lean more towards I wish the police department had a little bit more mental health training for
Hmm.
situations that they may have to step in there and handle something. And if that could be part of what it is they do on that, because there's going to be degrees. It's not going to be just a mental health breakdown and then a mental health professional goes and helps that, or it's a shootout with the police. There's going to be a whole lot of in between there, and everybody needs the training. And I think that's what probably should have happened at this point. The reason why this is on our radar, first of all, because we don't do a whole lot of talking about crime and a whole lot of talking about shootings when they happen, but we do when it's in context. The context here is that everybody in our sphere kind of really chimed up over what Chief Schmatter had to say about it. He's the one that kind of really made this into a thing, like reaching back for all the way back to what happened with Bud Crawford that we've been talking about here for this past couple of weeks, and he's talking about the criticism that the police department is getting, and he wants it to calm down. He wants us to calm down the scrutiny on the police department. There's no way we will ever be able to do that as long as the police department has shot and killed as many black people as they have this past couple years. Why would we ever let up the scrutiny of the police department? That doesn't make any sense. I'm sure he's very tired of hearing about everybody who's chiming up about the police department and they got a really hard job. They got a hard job and they got to deal with scrutiny, point blank period. So I don't know what else to tell you. Kara Roner in the chat is saying the police department is a fraternity and protected by the union. I don't expect anything less, but also disappointed in some of our black officers who have not and will not speak up because
Mm.
there's things that happen inside it all the time. It's what it is. Anthony's right. I was talking about something else there. But yeah, the sentiment is there. I think that this is the reason why we saw everybody chime up. The first person that got on was Brother Kasim from our show last a couple Mondays ago, and Brother Kasim was like, "This is not what we're gonna do. We're not gonna turn this into this is the scrutiny that you have had to have over the situation with Bud Crawford. We're not going to turn this into that. This is a totally separate event, another different event. Let's not politicize it that way, which is I feel like what the chief did. Also, Sherman Wells got on as well and on his show and had something to say about it too. And a lot of people in the chat chimers and people in Friends of First Sky Omaha had something to say about it. And shout out to Bonnie Castellano.
Hmm.
I mean, that was really a powerful statement that she made there, and about feeling what she felt about Mary Ewing and the Chief Schmatter's what they had to say about this. Of course, they're going to have to chime up about an officer of theirs that got hurt. Of course, they will. Of course, we would too. Don't want nobody to get hurt. We do not want anybody to get hurt. But it could have been real easy for him to just come state the facts there and feel emotional about the fact that one of his officers got hurt, and not turn this into he's telling us he wants us to calm down the scrutiny. That's the crazy part to me. Why would you even want anybody to calm down the scrutiny of your police department? That doesn't even make any sense to me. Um, Let me get into the chat before
Yeah,
we
chat's going
go
on.
too well. Katie L in the chat, good morning, says scrutiny would continue as accountability has not been anywhere near acknowledged.
That part.
Anthony Rogers, right. That's a ridiculous assessment. Again, the mayor needs a new comms team more than the Cornhuskers need a new offensive line. OG says Schmatter didn't like the global spotlight. Yeah, he didn't really didn't like that. Well, do what you're supposed to do, and you won't have to worry about all that. Exactly. There's more to it. There's more to it. This people chimed up about Bud because of we're mad about Phipps and everybody else has got killed by the police. This isn't one incident that people are chiming up and you're embarrassed by. Like, you don't want people speaking out about what goes on in the police department. Change what goes on in the police department. If the police department wasn't killing black folks, then we might not have too much to say about getting pulled over. The whole reason why everybody's upset that Bud got pulled over is because he could have lost his life. Because there's how many people are out here getting killed by the police on traffic stops
all the time because they fear for their lives.
Kara Warner in the chat says when they signed up, they knew the job would be difficult. The police department is a fraternity and protested. You keep saying protested. I think you're being protected by their union. Unfortunately, not surprised by the press conference. Michelle West in the chat. Good morning. Says at the first Mayor Ewing press conference, Mayor Ewing said that he and Schmatter will be at the 360 empowerment meeting today. Okay. Katie L says Sherman's video spoke the truth to power. Definitely go back and check out Sherman L. Wells' page and what he had to say about it. Definitely. Anthony Rogers Rice said they call it 360 because all they do is talk in circles. You got me talking in circles.
Hey,
Wanda Lewis says that's what happened to Tariq Alameen. He was outspoken. Speaking of which, we shout out to RG. He's been hooking this up. We probably will be speaking to him, brother Alameen, next week.
Man.
Yeah. I see somebody in the chat, Andrea Duncan. I've trained with several police officers. In my opinion, most black officers won't speak up because they lied too. They'll lie too. Because they'll lied too. Okay. Tony Johnson says Blue Shield silences black voices for those in the force, work with force, and former force. The statements from the community leaders are very basic. We're very basic. Okay. Anthony Rogers writes his facts. Paul, do they really expect us to just shut up and die? Later for that. Cheryl Weston says Schmatter was the one who placed the race issue into the conversation because he identified the suspect as black. That was totally inappropriate and political. Interesting. Mama God says one did not have a damn thing to do with the other. Period. The last pressure whitewashed the first in my mind. The latest pressure whitewashed the first in my mind. Pressure washed. What are you saying right there? Pressure whitewashed the first in my mind.
The latest presser whitewashed the first in my mind. So basically saying kind of undermine what they said in the first conference.
Right. Got it. Appreciate that. Appreciate that comment. Yeah, definitely feel that way about that. So I think this is the emotion. This is what we have been feeling and seeing in the chat and also in friends of comments and everybody else's podcast. And the reason why people have got right on the podcast to talk about it because they're feeling that. We could have been more, right along with you, just like, man, it's messed up. That brother was really going through something, and he ended up shooting that police officer. Not recommended. This is not what we out here trying to do at all.
Yeah.
Like that's jacked. That's really jacked up. Soon as you wanted to turn it into, there's been a lot of scrutiny this past week, and we know exactly who you're talking about. You're talking about us, our scrutiny over the Bud Crawford situation. As soon as you wanted to turn it to that, then you went back to a them against us rhetoric immediately, and I think everybody's feeling that. I get off my soapbox now at 7:40 in the morning.
Oh, there you go. I mean, that's I pretty much echoing what everybody is saying. I think the scrutiny of the job is going to be inherent, especially the big thing is the lack of accountability. I don't think the scrutiny would be there if we had confidence in the process. If we're like, hey, let them investigate themselves because they've shown that they can hold themselves accountable. That's not the case. So somebody got to hold you accountable.
That's real.
When was the last time an officer was convicted for killing somebody while on duty? Like when was justice ever served? When did that ever happen? So everybody that is killed by the police is just killed justly. Like it's just when what point me to a please, if anybody got any case log, any precedents, I understand how to read a case log. Put it in the chat.
And I will say, how many times that things have happened in the police department, like Schmatter firing police officers that killed people, and we acknowledge that you fired them, didn't stick because of the union, because everything else that they came back, but you did fire them. You did feel like some disciplinary action had to happen. Zachary Bearhill's cops got fired. Other people have gotten fired over shooting and killing people. And when that happens, when Schmaderer fires them, we scrutinize that too and have something to say. Good for him for doing that. It's too bad that it never sticks, but you know,
I think the realization is it doesn't have to be this way. You don't need like there are other speaking of solutions journalism. Why does Sweden not have police force not have guns, but their crime is low? There are examples of police forces around the world that aren't armed to the teeth and crime is low.
different cultures, but yes.
Well, maybe we need to fix our culture. But that's the issue. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. And Schmaderer is just a face for a machine that he isn't in control of. He's just a public face. That's all it is. And his job is to clean up. The system is broken. And nothing Schmaderer says will change that. The people know that this is not working.
Right. And Schmatter as the chief is one of the better chiefs that I've seen in my lifetime. But again, how good of a chief? How could you be in a system that's already messed up and be him as a person doing some of the things that he does? Cool. All right, appreciate that. He could be a lot worse. Like I said,
Oh yeah,
I come
he's not
from
Bull
areas.
Connor.
Bull Connor. I mean, we don't even go back that far. Like I come from LAPD chief Daryl Gates and them. So like,
Mm.
he could be worse of a dude. But still, I mean, the whole point is that you probably ought to really be okay with people scrutinizing what's going on, because it is a public service, and you're working for the public, and you want the public to be able to scrutinize when your officers are doing something else. There's been times I brought it up because there's been times that you agreed with our scrutiny and actually fired people. So look, I'm sorry you got embarrassed by being on the world stage with a cop that pulled a gun on the champ. But how we not what how why would we ever not say nothing about that? The mayor, everybody said something about that. The mayor
Not
got
just
on talking about he needs to see the case, and this is unfortunate. I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? Be scrutinized and be okay with being scrutinized, and do something about changing it. I don't know what else to tell you.
man. Yeah.
Um, yeah, let's get back into the chat a little bit before we go get to the next thing. Kara Warner says the black officer who attacked the one young man with mental health issues a few years back were scrutinized and weren't protected in the same measure as if they were white. This is true. A lot of black cops get fired a little bit quicker than everybody else. A lot of times when that
If
happens,
to that point, if I'm not mistaken, the officers fired in the Zachary Bearhill situation were black. Just putting that out there.
half of them were, half of them weren't. And the two halves that were got fired. Ariel's 402 policing in America is by nature is inherently bigoted. I mean, we can go back to the reason why police exist in the first place, the slave catchers. Anthony Rogers Rice says Ariel 402 say that we all know the origin of policing in this nation of stolen lands. Wanda Lewis says OPD might fire police, however, Douglas County Sheriff Department will hire them back into the community. Bro, it's worse. It's deeper than that. They the union will put pressure on stuff, and they'll be hired back into the police department under Schmatter again. Can you imagine being fired by Schmatter, Chief Schmatter, and then be situations beyond his control? They get hired back, and he's still their boss. Like what kind of teeth? do they think he has if he can fire him and they can come right back to the same department, let alone other departments, other places around the country, and sheriff's department right here in town as well. Pop says Japan is another one. They don't carry guns in the country has nearly no crime. It is that our culture is screwed up. There's no way that police officers ain't gonna be able to carry guns in this culture. But there is theories out there. There is scientific theories out there about every time you increase the size of your gun, so does the criminal. And then what happens when the guns get bigger and bigger? Then now you're driving tanks down the street. Now you're dropping bombs from helicopters. We've seen it happen. It's happened. It's going to happen again.
Yeah.
Heather Williams says, "Are they doing the job though? Any news on a shooting that took the young lady's life at the lake? I'm still waiting on some communication about a shooting right in front of my house."
Do we need to bring up the rape kits? Thousands of backlogged rape kits.
Speaking of which, yes, they are looking for the shooter that took the young lady's life at the lake. They've been putting a lot of information out about. If you have any information, please follow up. And a bunch of people have been jumping on that. Shout out to Precious McKesson and other folks that are saying, let's put some pressure down on this because it's whenever happens in our community, it's more up to us than it even is sometimes the police to go find out what's going on here. And so we got to help. So anybody has any information on that shooting, work with the police on it and try to figure it out because it's unfortunate this young lady is close to home too.
Yeah, yeah.
Close to home. Um, so it is so again, man, like there's a need for the police to be able to do what the police does. We just asking for the police to do it in a different style or to refine it or to change it up or to quit killing folks. Like there's some things that we should be able to scrutinize and ask for. Appreciate everybody that Heather Williams says they are never where they need to be. Well, they're they're not able to prevent any crimes. They're supposed they best they can do is be there after the fact and try to make an arrest. When one of theirs gets shot, a couple hours later they sitting they got the SWAT team at McDonald's on them. So they didn't shoot him on site, so he's gonna go to trial. So props for not killing him, I guess.
The system
Uh,
is working how it is designed to work.
And I gotta say one more thing I want to say about that. When that happened, we were on the show on Monday when the breaking news happened that the police officer got shot, and all that day, the block was so hot it was crazy. I almost made the decision at one point that I wasn't gonna drive nowhere else today, and the next
Mm.
few days, and until later on that night when they caught the guy, and then it let up. But I'm talking about it was nerve wracking to drive around the day of in Omaha, Nebraska after a police officer got shot because you could everything was on the move. People were getting pulled over left and right.
Oh yeah, they
Everything was
hunting.
hot,
They're
huh?
hunting. So they're hunting.
Yeah. So to your point about the young lady who got shot, I hope they find that person with the same amount of diligence. um, I really want to try to move on past this. I appreciate everybody's comments. Wanda Lewis says, just to silence us, just like the people will bring the officer back on before they even start a grand jury investigation. Let's not forget about that. There'll be an officer involved shooting, killing of somebody. That officer will go on a paid vacation for a minute. Usually would come back in before the grand jury comes in. And then the grand jury comes in and just 8 cases in an hour. We'll call it justified. Kara Warner says, I lived that neighborhood where the police officer involved shooting occurred, and neighbors were saying the young man was stumbling upon people's porches. There was a clear mental health crisis. No one did or said anything. I appreciate the firsthand information on that for sure. Also, Ms. Cheryl Weston said, isn't the crime rate down according to Schmatter and Barney? It is. Crime rate's down, most def. Uh, yeah, but there's case by case. Mental illness person should have been on scene up front. The call informed them that the guy's behavior was very odd. Mama God. I appreciate that comment too. Yeah. If you get a call saying this guy is obviously having some kind of mental break, like I said, if you're not able to have a mental illness person on deck, be a police officer that has some mental illness training more
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I mean, again, like even Brother Kasim, when we spoke to him on Monday, he's mentioned he's de-armed or disarmed nine people. He's taking gun this year alone. He mentioned that he's taking guns from people. So it's people don't have to die.
Yeah.
And how can we as a community figure out how to save more lives? That's the ultimate question. But
Linda, real quick before you transition, Linda Latham in the chat reminded me about something we were talking about the other day. As a matter of fact, I wonder if the gas station had one of those signs outside that said "safe place." Those quick
I
trips are there with
forgot about that.
cops inside of the quick trips,
I forgot about that.
so that if you're having a mental break or if you're in a domestic violence situation, you can run to a quick trip and there'll be a safe space for you to go to. This is where they ended up finding him, and they were trying to arrest him and get him off the premises. The reason why he got agitated because they were telling him he had to leave. So thank you for reminding me about that point, because that was definitely that's what do we know what he was there for? You know what I'm saying? Like, was that part of that?
By all accounts, he was having a mental health break. And again, luckily everybody lived, but this could have easily been a situation where another brother having a mental health issue, struggling with his mental health, would have lost his life and it would have been justified and life would have went on.
There you go. Stephen Abraham, good morning. I'm glad to see you in your name in the chat. I was thinking of you earlier when we were talking about this story. He said, "Good morning, Grand Rising. We made it through another rotation. Yes, yes. I don't know how long I've been mentioning this about mental health issues and psychosis brought on by substance use. Yeah, I'm not sure if that was part of his case, but yeah, yeah, I got members in my family that had substance abuse, that changed their mental capacity. Even after they stopped, they were just forever affected. So I appreciate that. Pops in the chat says our family had a black teacher friend who was murdered, and the police dragged their heels. My mom and dad hired a private detective who solved the case in 6 months. Sometimes we must take action. Thanks, Pops, for reminding
Mm.
me about that. Yeah, when it comes to us, don't be so diligent all the time. So that's unfortunate. We're going to move along because we do have a special guest coming here pretty soon. Here is 7:52 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, please go back and check all the chat out. Lots of good comments and questions and stuff in the chat, and continuing the conversation, which happens inside the chat. When we're not live, it happens on Friends of First Sky Omaha, the group page on Facebook. So please join that and get down. After Brother Kasim came on last Monday about the Bud Crawford situation, hundreds of people have been trying to get on that page, and I can't. I spent about 2 hours yesterday declining people's raggedy comments coming in on the page, talking junk about Bud, talking junk about Kasim, and bigging up the police department, and being, and everything from I'm so bored to you guys are a bunch of ridiculous, like going off because of the fact that we had such a big viewing of that particular show. So just understand that you still gonna be able, if you're a chat chimer, especially, which is with the chat chimers are people who have been consistently having these conversations with us over time. You will still have a safe space in Friends of First Sky Omaha to be able to come on there. I will make sure of that. I'm so happy that we pivoted in the way that we did. It's not just going to be for everybody. So anybody who comes on with that mess is going to get cleaned out. You're still going to be able to comment. You're still going to be able to be part of the conversation over there at Friends of, and that'll be that. I just got to spend a little bit more time now weeding through stuff, but it is what it is. Just makes it so much more important to us, and so much more important you are to us, the chat chimers especially, who are coming in here to get to some solutions. Like,
Yeah.
not to come in here and badger each other. We're not doing it. We'll take a quick break and we'll come right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's buddy to God.
Hey.
I'm a little under the weather today. If I'm sounding funny, please bear with me. But I'm here because the conversation is too important. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddy to God.
Hey.
That was a track from Pops, Paul B. Allen the Third. If you want to hear his music, definitely go check him out wherever you get your musics.
Yeah.
Spotify, all of them joints. Definitely check it out. Paul Pops says, "Hey, sunny day. That's what I'm trying to have, Pops. It's
Man.
44 degrees out here, and I'm under the weather, so I'm trying to bring back a sunny day for myself a little bit.
Man, it's a little gray on this side too, man. Brr.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
you
Need some
brought back the
sunshine.
hoodie weather now.
Tis the season. Tis
Yeah.
the season.
Well, I'll tell you what. I got all my hoodies
Hey.
because I'm single. Ain't nobody stole no hoodies of mine.
Man.
Yeah. It's definitely going down. Yeah, man. RG said, but BZ, you ain't gonna turn friends the first guy into Omaha Scanner.
Nah. None of that.
Not happening. But yeah, we will be continuing the conversation there, unaffected, for real. I appreciate everybody coming in. Like you saw on the break, will have special guest Miss Jade Rogers coming in, and I gotta tell you, when she's in town, we be talking about some Afrofuturism. Where are Black people going to be? What space and place will we occupy in the
Man,
future?
there you go. Because increasingly, it's not looking safe outside.
It is not looking safe outside in a big way. A few things before we get to more of this conversation here. Just want to kind of break in to jump in on a few more haps that are happening around town.
Okay.
This is interesting. Omaha Inland Port Authority is hiring. They are hiring a deputy director of real estate and economic development, and also a director of operations and strategic initiatives. Some big titles for some big jobs. But it's interesting that they are a part of this thing happening. So definitely got to check out what's going on here with the Omaha Inland Port Authority. We checking on all the events and stuff that's happening all the time too. I forgot to grab Vince Furlong's link, but documenters just documented the latest Inland Port Authority meeting. Definitely go to the Documenters Omaha page and check that out. Shout out to Vince Furlong, friend of First Guy Omaha, content creator, alumni, and documenter now. So
Yeah.
definitely check his
Squad.
report out. And we'll continue to talk a lot more about this port authority. As a matter of fact, we're going to try to have somebody on to talk a little bit about that as well. So be looking me on the lookout. This kind of got my radar up. Like, okay, they're building out a team here a little bit. Where are they getting the funding from? Next season we follow the money. I'd like to know.
That part.
We will see. Also, Precious McKesson put this out as well. The NCAA we've been talking about. She says the Nebraska Commission of African American Affairs is in the process of developing a strategic plan.
Nice.
And in conjunction with its consultant, the agency has prepared a survey to be disseminated throughout the state to develop a sense for its policy and programming priorities moving forward. This survey to the community partners is an effort to gather feedback from Black Nebraskans about their experiences, needs, and issues. The surveys can be accessed on the homepage of the website. So, as a matter of fact, I grabbed that survey here. If you guys want to jump on that real quick and be a part of that conversation. I know there's a lot of people that are asking, what are they doing over there at the Nebraska Commission on African American Affairs? Well, this is what they're doing, trying to put a strategic plan together, and they need your input for that. So there's the link. Please go check that out. Hit the survey, and let's make it so that we don't always got to complain about this organization. Can do something with it.
Man.
With that, I'm going to go ahead and move on, man. We're coming up on the second hour, 8 o'clock coming on. If you believe in the concept of time and live in Omaha, Nebraska, the 8 o'clock hour is happening. That signals the second hour for us. We're going to jump into a little bit more conversation, more news, and then of course we'll be anticipating our special guest that's coming in, Jade Rogers. Stick around for her. We'll be having a talk with her from the House of Afro Capes and Curls. And in the meantime, between time, how you feeling over there, buddy?
Yeah, feeling good. Let's go ahead and dive into some things, kind of transitioning as we, go from the first to the second hour, transitioning from local to more national news, kind of seeing how what Trump is doing is impacting the Nebraska, our own backyard, if you will. And really kind of continue the conversation from the first hour, talking about this police state that we're in, the community relations with the police, and understanding that the police is really just one arm of a larger machine. Again, how else are they going to fill all of these prisons that they're building if not having an active police force? I mean, it only makes sense. Again, I say the system is working. the way that it's intended to work. Again, Nebraska has had for the last several years, half a decade, if you will, the most overcrowded prison system in the nation, and yet no inkling, no intention, no signs of this prison population decreasing. And now we are 2 weeks away from it being even more overcrowded. Talking about again the case of McCook. Again, McCook, also known as the Cornhusker Clink, is set on track, despite many people signing petitions, speaking out, protesting, legislators asking for special hearings. Regardless of all that, they're still moving forward with this. Shout out to WOWT for the report. Again, based on the original timeline, Nebraska Governor Jim Pillen is 15 or so days away from turning one of Nebraska's correctional facilities into an ICE detention center. They've actually already began moving inmates. When the camp was announced back in August, the camp held about 194 inmates or men at the time. As of today, it's down to about 98. So they've pretty much halved the population as of this time. According to the article, many of the inmates have headed to community corrections, usually the last step before re-entering into society. Nebraska Corrections Inspector General Doug Kubernick says there are a lot of parole hearings at the community corrections in the next couple of weeks. I think a lot of people will be paroled, and that will create a lot of spots for men to move to other areas. Again, according to the article, they've counted 83 individuals who are on this month's parole board agenda, either at the work ethic camp or community corrections. And there are two, one in Omaha and one in Lincoln, which serves as a place for them to sleep while they often have a day job or look for work, as far as individuals transitioning. And while that sounds good, again, the idea of some individuals transitioning back into society, the numbers don't add up, because remember, this Cornhusker Clink is set to have about 300 individuals. So again, the 100 or so that they released doesn't quite offset the overcrowding that we're seeing in our nation. But again, this is another example of Pillen kissing up to the Trump administration. Remember, this isn't anything that the Trump administration pushed on Nebraska. Pillen himself and his administration called Trump to push this. Again, not speaking to any legislators, not speaking to any constituents as far as voters. He just did it. And here we are.
He did it, and he did it among the constituents protesting, because the population that didn't want it. Trump didn't ask him for it. When he snuck and did that, courts kind of chimed up like, we might have to sue you for that, because it was illegal. And then the people came out for settings and hearings, and not just the people, but lawmakers as well. And everybody was like, "Nah, we don't want this," and still gonna happen.
Yep.
So it's a lesson in the power of the governorship. It's a lesson in it's a vision of the kind of governor that we have, and who he's trying to align with. We still might end up with National Guard inside the state. We still might, because it's a strong possibility that he doesn't want to be left out of being one of those states that did this.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not far out of imagination at all. I mean, there's been several reports, several instances, several examples of Governor Pillen using Nebraska National Guard to push the Trump agenda. If you remember, he sent Nebraska National Guard to Texas several times to help with Border Patrol.
Right.
Which, again, why does the state landlocked in the middle of the nation sending their National Guard troops for border control?
Right. And I'll also think about that too. They've named these cities that they claim have all this crime, and they're sending National Guard to help with ICE situations. We have ICE situations going on here, but we don't have the masses of people in the street protesting that so much. And I still think that we're gonna end up with the National Guard here. I don't think we're in the streets like they are. I don't know if you've been seeing people are in the streets in Chicago. Chicago streets are filled with people protesting ICE and these situations. That's why he's targeting places like Chicago and in New York, and places that people have been stepping out. Omaha ain't stepping out like that.
Not yet.
Not yet. But even a little teeny bit of stepping out, I think will garner him calling the National Guard and coming in on that. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean,
Linda said, remember, he said I'm not a politician. Pillin did say that.
so did Trump.
So did Trump.
So what are they telling you? What are they telling you?
Yeah.
You gotta see the writing on the wall, and especially when certain policies roll out that are doing more harm than hurt. Point in case, this government shutdown that is wholeheartedly being pushed by the Republican Party. Just kind of moving along as we prepare for our guests. And this is interesting. This coming out of W or not WOWT KMTV actually. Molly Hudson for Channel 3 reports on the government shutdown and how it's impacting Nebraska. Which again, when you see Pillin kissing up to Trump, is very interesting. What is the point? Like, is he trying to help Nebraskans or himself? Because again, according to Congressman Mike Flood, the government shutdown is not going well for anybody. And in
So glad
one-on-one,
Flood chimed in on that and told us that.
man, in a one-on-one interview, Congressman Mike Flood told reporter Molly Hudson the work to find an end to the government shutdown is not going well. We are currently on day 7 now, and it's not going well, Flood said. Again, he says he's not hearing anything from his leadership about plans to return to D.C. to vote on something this week. Again, there are so many unintended consequences from a shutdown, and it's hard to look people in the eye and say, yeah, I'm sorry the government shut down, because it makes no sense to everyday Americans, Flood said. Other issues like housing affordability remain in the back burner, waiting for the government to reopen. And at the heart of this situation is healthcare. Again, a lack of a healthcare plan being agreed upon has led to the government shutting down right now. And reminding people, the last time the government shut down under Trump, it actually ended up being just over 30 days, the longest government shutdown in American history. But the question, of course, is what's at stake for this government shutdown. Of course, there has been, talk about furloughs, and there's actually even reports of Trump not giving those who are furloughed back pay. So some people might just be out of loot. But beyond the federal workers themselves, how does this impact everyday working Americans? And the big thing that kind of caught my attention recently is we are less than a week away, I believe, from WIC shutting down. It's being reported that millions and millions of Americans who are relying on WIC again to feed themselves, to feed their children, might be struggling within the next week or so, as if this government shutdown continues. WIC, who, if you remember, was already kind of struggling based on some policy decisions from Trump earlier, which led to nonprofits, government agencies, and organizations losing funding. And now it's getting even tighter and harder for these same organizations. So again, just a heads up for those of you who are on WIC, who are on SNAP and getting those types of benefits, the clock is ticking, and per Flood and many other politicians, no end in sight.
Yeah, no end in sight part is what I'm thinking of too. I'm glad you reminded about the first time, the first Trump presidency when this happened, and the government shutdown was the longest one in history, and he was trying to get that border wall up and get the money for that. That was the sticking point there for him, and I can't remember whether or not they caved into that or not, and that's how it came back. I'm not sure, but this one looks even stickier than that, and it's going to be drawn out in a big way. And we talked the other day about what 745,000 jobs and people that were out of work because this shutdown all over the
Yeah, man.
country. He's also using this to threaten programs. Wasn't programs to come back. You just mentioned that he was threatening not giving people back pay.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely was like, well, it depends on the job, depends on the people, and depends on who it is, because some people don't deserve the back pay. You talking all that rhetoric. So again, just using this for political power and kind of really jacking everybody up. If you could think about that, if you're a government worker and you think, well, this is messed up. I'm not getting no income right now. But when I get back, at least I'll get the back pay. And then he says something like that. So you're not even gonna get the back pay. My first inclination is, all right. Well, I'm out of the sector then. Forget that. If it's gonna be that unstable, I got to
Man,
keep food on the table. Well, then who's running the government? Who's running the programs when people bounce? So
loyalist.
yeah, it's tough. It's tough. So yeah, I appreciate that in the chat, man. I want to jump in real quick because there's a lot of good comments here.
Yeah.
Michelle Moreno was saying in the chat, she said, yes, they should have first called somebody that can deal with the mental health situation. Are we talking about the brother that shot the police officer? I
Mm-hmm.
thought the police department had that, and they should have locked down Quick Trip for sure. Also, I said something earlier about the National Guard coming here. Anthony Rogers Rice says, I don't think Omaha is on the radar at all. By the way, Mama God, is my mic up? Let me know if my mic's up. We got 20,000 people in the streets for Bud's parade, but we couldn't even get 100 in the street when Bud and Cap Q were accosted by police.
Mm,
I don't think that's the only reason why the National Guard would get sent in, to be honest.
mm,
And I do feel like we are on the radar. I think that our governor has made it that we're on the radar. There was a bunch of millions of dollars that are going to farmers. It's supposed to go to farmer subsidies because of what happened with the farmers in our state, which is that tariffs jacked them up, and also their workers not coming to work for fear of deportation jacked them up, and the fact that we're such an agricultural state, when the farmers start chiming up, then we get on people's radar. Now, right now, what's happening is he's promising these farmers to get some subsidies to get some millions of dollars back, but we'll see if that happens.
man, I mean, and not just that. Remember the blue dot. We were very close to an election coming up. Trump is trying to already bolster his Republican base more. You're already seeing how local authorities reacted during Freedom Summer. I don't think it's too far out, and you see Democratic cities being targeted.
Yeah, and with black mayors especially. Marlon Harris says Portland has been very active. I've seen videos circling on social media. Portland's in the street. Portland's judges are trying to sue. Portland's veterans are gathering together to make sure that the ICE doesn't come into their town. People, yeah, you're right. They've definitely been chiming up. He's been naming the cities that he thinks are. First of all, we're a red state. Don't forget that. So we're not going to be named like a lot of these other places are being named, except for like Buddy's talked about the blue dot. That's a huge thing too, especially in a season where they want to do winner takes all in the state. They would
Man,
like to get rid of that dot. I definitely think he would try to get down. Anthony Rogers Rice says, and Trump is only targeting the Big Apple because they're about to elect a socialist, brother Zoran Mandami, as their next mayor, which is going to be a shock to the system of the capitalists. Yep, very true, very true. We don't have anybody over here that hot for sure. I get what you're saying. But I don't even think it'll be Trump sending in National Guard, bro. I feel like it's Pillen that'll do it.
that's my point. That's my point. Like Pillin is trying to like get let me get in on this too. Like, hey Trump, hey, come to Nebraska, let's get down. Like he's kissing up. He's on the bandwagon.
There you go. Linda, I'm seeing Linda said replying to Rick Fulton. Rick Fulton is enjoying his time in Tokyo. Last I saw, where is Rick Fulton in here talking? Because
I didn't see
I
him.
blocked him from the show.
I don't know.
Let me know if he's still in the comments, because he's not allowed to comment on our show anymore. By the way, and I don't know if this program is stopping that or not. So let us know, Linda. Pop says, I believe Trump is just sending troops to blue states so he will be prepared to quickly shut down uprisings against his continued authoritarianism. I don't think any red states will be invaded. No, we got a little special situation here with this blue dot, I'm telling you. And we don't need it. We don't got to worry about Trump when we got Pillin. We don't really got, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we'll see. We'll see. Heather Williams says, I work for ACA. People are losing health care left and right. People lose Medicaid and they can't afford ACA. He's raised income requirements for ACA. For those who don't know, ACA is also what they call Obamacare. So yeah, and the rates are high. I can't afford it. I don't have health care.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, something does need to change on this. And what little is there, I think the Democrats are really trying to hang on to. But
Um.
go ahead.
Well, I'm glad Heather brought up ACA because that actually was directly addressed in the article.
Hmm.
The question was asked: are you willing to compromise ACA subsidies at this point to reopen the government? Because again, that's the crux of the government shutdown is Republicans and Democrats not being able to agree on how ACA is going to be rolled out, how it's going to be managed, how it's going to be handled. And to which Flood says, first of all, the bill that is in front of the Senate is a clean extension, and the ACA tax credits don't expire until the end of the year. So my point is, do the extension, and then we will negotiate that in the budget that has to get done by November 21st. He went on to say there are so many unintended consequences. I think I read that again. Basically, the shutdown makes no sense for everyday Americans, but this could go on. Again, there's no end in sight. As he's saying, there's some things for ACA towards the end of the year. Will they try to stretch it out that long? We will see.
We will see. Appreciate that. Thanks for letting me know. We'll figure out how to get things right in the chat as well. Yep. I appreciate that. She says talking about Rick says he's just annoying, but his comments help push the algorithm, y'all. So let him argue with himself. He don't argue with people committed to misunderstanding us. Yeah, but like I said, there's plenty of other places you can go to have arguments. This ain't the place. We trying to come to some conclusions and some solutions about stuff here and build. So let's keep doing that. I'll figure out how to block who we need to block. Appreciate that. 8:16 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, again, we appreciate everybody who's joining us. All the good comments here. I think our program here is the one that blocked them, but YouTube and Facebook didn't. So
Mm.
I think that's what the problem is. We'll figure it out. Pop says, "Yeah, I agree. The blue dot can be an exception. I think we have a special situation here in Nebraska, in Nebraska because of Omaha. So, and as you can see, he's been attacking cities, not states.
To that point, Anthony Roger Wright said the same thing, talking about Memphis. He said, Pops, Tennessee has National Guard and federal agents on the ground. It's not states as much as cities that are being targeted by Fuhrer Trump. Man, it's kind of interesting calling him the Fuhrer. I don't know. Did anybody see the comments recently of the Trump aide saying he has plenary powers on CNN? Yeah, I saw this clip as I was preparing for this morning show. It was a Trump aide on CNN recently that had a kind of a Freudian slip and said that Trump has plenary powers, which is essentially, I had to look it up. Plenary power is absolute, unqualified, and often unreviewable authority held by a governmental body, such as Congress's power over immigration. But again, this aide said that Trump himself had plenary power.
Wow.
Yeah.
The fear. We're going to take a quick break and come back. Stay tuned. We'll have Jade Rogers on shortly. You're listening to First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. A little under the weather today, so bear with me.
Yeah, stuffy.
Looking a little puffy-eyed. That's what it is, man. This weather change is jacking me up. It is what it is. We'll be right back. First Guy Omaha in the morning. In the morning. Welcome back. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'm Paul B, all stuffed up. I can hear
man. Sound like Humpty.
Pronounced with the umpty.
Hey, do me, baby.
Oof, man. We ready to start singing the song.
Hey.
And all you rappers in the top 10, please allow me to bump thee.
Hey.
Board of Education Town Hall. Shout out to Kimmerer Snipes, who is heading up a lot of these things. Hers is on Thursday, October the 23rd. Vice President Kimmerer Snipes. You see it right down there, Central High from 6 to 7:30. Shout out to Bree Full for doing hers on Saturday, November 1st. Shout out to President Jane Erdenberger, who has got October 14th coming up. So definitely check this out. We'll put this in Friends of First Guy Omaha. I highly suggest you get to the town halls. I highly suggest you get to the meetings, the board meetings they have each week. But if you can't make that, at least make the town hall so you can let your voice be heard. Man. And hear from other people as well. Ask some questions and speak to the Omaha Public School Board personally. So we'll put that in Friends of First Guy Omaha. Definitely check that out for sure. And also don't forget about the joint town hall that's coming up. Wait a minute. This
today?
Passed,
no, that's today.
Yeah, it's today. 5:30 to 7, man. Joint town hall with our own Senator Ashley Spivey, Senator Terrell McKinney, the co-hosts of the Senator Cipher every other Monday. We're gonna be there. Join the Senators Ashley Spivey District 13, Senator Jerome McKinney District 11 for an opportunity to discuss policies impacting North Omaha. Special guest OPPD board member Eric Williams. Anthony Rogers, right? If you're going to this, don't throw tomatoes at him. You're supposed to go there and ask some questions, have some conversation. Dinner will be provided. So, like I said, no dinner rolls upside the head. Go there and have a conversation. Try to get some answers and get some figure out what's going on here. That's the point. It's going to be at Metro CC, the Fort Campus, room 110. That's over there in the Culinary Arts Building, 5300 North 30th Street. Definitely go check this out tonight if you get a chance, and sit in on the town hall. With that, we'll go ahead and yeah, pops. I will do the whole song top to bottom. Digital Underground was my era in a big way. It's going down. Appreciate everybody that's joining us today. Again, it's 8:21 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're in the second hour of First Sky Omaha in the morning. We got Jade Rogers coming up shortly, but in the meantime, between time, we're going to try to squeeze in a little bit more conversation. Buddy, what's on the top of your brain right now?
Yeah, I'm actually set it up. Again, we having Jade Rogers on, founder of House of Afro Capes and Curls. Again, talking about Afrocon, having a safe space for black people to be black, especially Blerds, to be themselves. And man, we need it. We need it safe space because again, outside is getting it's getting dangerous. It's getting dangerous, and even for us on what we do on this show, cause for pause. I'll just be honest. I'll give it a little context. Shout out to Mama Gawd who put me on to Sister Lori, who's a podcaster and lawyer in her own right. And she talked about this directive that I want to bring to y'all attention because this is something worth paying attention to, especially those of you few chat chimers who have podcasts, who create content in your own right. Freedom of speech is getting tighter. Again, Linda Lathan in the chat saying the tacky looking gold all over the White House sends me every time. Like, man, this place is going downhill fast. Why did they let him do that? He just does whatever he wants like a toddler. And while some things like that, the White House gold and the gold shoes and some things are laughable, some are just downright concerning. I'll be honest. And this latest memorandum that was issued on September 25th, a National Security Presidential Memorandum, also known as NSPM 7, we should be paying attention to this. Especially those of you who are vocal on your social media, vocal on other platforms like podcasts. Pay attention. Again, this memorandum is the subject of the memorandum is countering domestic terrorism and organized political violence. While again on this show we don't push violence, and I hope nobody is pushing violence, it's seemingly going to be harder to challenge the powers that be, if you will. Again, this directive is very interesting, and in light of time, I'll jump to the most interesting part as far as some of the campaigns that they are recognizing as domestic terrorist talk. The paragraph reads, there are common recurrent motivations in uniting this pattern of violent and terroristic activities. Undoubtedly, this is talking in the context of what happened to Charlie Kirk, which again, a lot of people, even in our own chat, have been very vocal about. So please pay attention, because they are paying attention. Again, under the umbrella of self-described quote unquote anti-fascism, these movements portray foundation American principles as fascist to justify and encourage acts of violent revolution. This anti-fascist lie has become the organizing rallying cry used by domestic terrorists to wage a violent assault against democratic institutions, constitutional rights, and fundamental American liberties. Common threads animating this violent conduct include anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, and anti-Christianity, support for the overthrow of the United States government, extremism on migration, race, and gender, and hostility towards those who hold traditional American views on family, religion, and morality. I'll just stop there, because this is a very wide umbrella. And the same questions that Sister Lori asked in the podcast, I have to echo those questions. when you see the American government clamping down on rhetoric that they deem anti-American, anti-capitalism, and anti-Christianity, you got to ask which America, which capitalists, and which Christianity are we talking about? Is it the same Christianity that the KKK is claiming? Is it the same capitalism that allows private for-profit prisons to benefit from human capital? What are we talking about? And again, I see you, RG. Let's stay clear away from the violent uprising rhetoric. It's not this. I understand, but it's not on this platform.
Yeah. We lean towards solutions and organization. And we even state that one of the reasons why we are disseminating the news and putting the news in the context that we are is so that we can figure out our belief system and then act on those beliefs. A lot of what you're just saying, RG, you're saying a lot of what some of the other organizations we're connected to say is if that's the case, then you got to start talking about that, because we're talking about the same way that the Black Panthers decided they wanted to stop police brutality in their community and arm themselves and went to go do that. And so that kind of stuff is going to come up, because that's really what everybody is scared of in the first place. They're that of a future, an Afro futuristic future of Wakanda, of people who are self
I mean,
sustained.
do you remember the mission of the FBI? Do we need to talk about COINTELPRO? It was explicitly stated that their mission was to stop the next Black Messiah.
And they did.
They killed him.
Several of them. And they got different tactics these days, because Black Lives Matter movement, as far as I'm concerned, one of the highlights of the Black Lives Matter movement is they decided there wasn't supposed to really be any leaders, to be any messiahs to be taken out, and everybody needed to kind of get together and do what they're going to do together. And it turned out to be a very big movement. And it's when we started naming names of who's at the top of them movements is when things started getting real hectic. So we're constantly looking for different tactics. One of the tactics that we have to get on right now, though, has to do with us being able to speak the truth. We call it news gang for a reason. It's going to be gangster to tell the truth. It's going to be gangster to speak up and say what needs to be said. But that doesn't. But I'm not putting that in the same box as me feeling a certain way and feeling like I want to do something a certain way and just be on here howling about that. We got to be strategic. This communication has to be strategic. Everybody in the circles that I'm running in, when it comes to when it comes to news, when it comes to alternative news, when it comes to organizers, when it comes to all those things, are talking about shutting certain things down, erasing yourself off the internet, because they're using that against you. We all reported on those stories about the people at the airport looking at your phone. If you said anything crazy on your phone, then you can get detained right there. And so what was the message after that from groups like ours? The message was get the facial recognition thing off your phone, go back to the code, because you can plead the fifth and tell them that you're not going to give them the numerical code to your phone to get into the phone to look at in the first place. There's a bunch of stuff that has to happen that is a battle, and to cover yourselves is one of the first battles. We're contemplating a lot of things over here when it comes to what we need to do in order to keep the conversation going without being harassed and jacked up. Ultimately, there might be nothing that we can do to do that, but we have to kind of imagine some kind of future where we have put some thought into our strategic communication if all of our efforts of communication have been getting cut off, if we have to go underground, basically.
Yeah.
We got into a conversation last night that really had my wheels turning about just the kind of technology that we have right now. And I know that some of the ideas I was coming up with had to do with the reason it had to do with my Afrofuturist brain, just thinking of what tech we're going to be able to use, what going underground means. It may not mean that we have a press in the basement and we're pressing out papers and folding them up and passing them out that way. It may mean something digital. But it's only because I'm trying to think in this kind of Afrofuturistic brain of how it is that we will be communicating with each other in the future in order to make sure that we get to the togetherness the way that we're trying to do now. And with that, I'm going to go ahead. I see your comments, and I want to come back to them because I think they're great. I appreciate you guys thinking about this. Thank you for bringing that up, buddy, because this is something that we're going to marinate on and come back to in a big way.
Oh yeah,
we are going to be making changes on this show. And we need some more minds and some more people who are in that realm to try to help us figure out exactly how we can do that. Keep going. We're finding people are finding value in what it is that we're doing here, but we are doing it on the Broligarchs platforms. What does that mean? We'll ask. As a matter of fact, speaking of Afrofuturistic minds, we have our next special guest coming in. As a matter of fact, we're going to take a quick break and we'll bring her in. Stay tuned. Jade Rogers is in the wings. It's going down. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll be Buddy the Guy. We'll be right back, y'all. Stay tuned.
Hey, RG, you see what's going on?
Welcome back. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'm Paul B. He's Buddy the Guy. We got Jade Rogers in the house.
Good morning.
Good morning. You got that mic hanging like LL Cool J. Don't call it a comeback.
Hey.
Come on with it. LL Cool Jade. What's going on with you?
Hey, haven't seen y'all in a while.
In a minute.
Yeah, too long. How you doing, sister?
I'm good.
Okay, I see that big smile. I love it.
I'm tired, but I'm good. I'm
that
tired
part.
for good reason.
Hey,
okay.
We gave you the latest time that we got.
So, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And thanks for joining us so early. I understand.
Thank you.
I like your glasses.
Having me.
Well, first of all, how you been? It's been a little minute. How's life? What's going on with you?
Anything, Shit.
We don't have time for all of that.
Okay, well, hey. Okay, let's dive right in there.
Life is life, huh?
I'll just say the house has had a very busy year.
Okay. Booked and busy?
Is it good? Is it good busy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What's some of the highlight? Give me one highlight of the busy year.
I'll give you two.
Okay.
May, we had Black Fae Day, our third Black Fae Day event. Mm-hmm. We're the first to recognize Black Fae Day in the state of Nebraska. Okay. And it is a free event in Miller Park, and it is an opportunity to frolic. And there were Black people with wings and elf ears and wizard caps.
She was
frolicking in the park.
She was a fairy.
Yes. Yes. And that was a beautiful experience to see people let down and just be. And it was interesting because people were like, because I kept saying we're going to frolic at 4, and then we got outside and people were like, okay, now what do we do? And it's like, we're going to frolic. And they're like, what does that mean? I was like, just walk around the tree. Let's just start holding hands and walking around the tree. And then people started laughing, and then people started singing, and then people started dancing, and then people were just going. It was a beautiful experience to just be free in a space like that with people. Wow. That was beautiful. And then go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And then our Juneteenth Steampunk Tea Party, our 4th this year, was at Jocelyn Castle. And there were Black people painting in the garden.
Man,
There was a sip and paint in the garden. There were lots of things that happened, but that was one of the moments that I was like, oh my God, look at that. It's just Black people sitting in front of a castle painting, sipping tea.
listen. I mentioned earlier today that I just watched I'm Not Your Negro, actually for the first time yesterday or 2 days ago. And it's just beautiful what you're talking about, and I want to impress upon the audience how big what you're talking about is as we talk about the Black experience in America. Because in I'm Not Your Negro, there's a juxtaposition of, early like Little House on the Prairie and like scenes of movies of white people frolicking and just that American dream fairy tale that Black people never got to experience, and it's a reality that we don't know.
Yeah.
And you creating a space in this season of Spaces and Places, having a vision of a future where we can experience that, where that can be a reality. And the simple fact that you had to explain to grown folks what frolicking means,
yes,
further illustrates the point that we don't, a level of freedom that we can't even imagine, to be able to go into a field and just enjoy the leaves and the flowers and the trees.
Because we're always on guard, because we have to be. But what we do is create those pocket moments and safe spaces for Black folk. And Black folk will always be my target. Everybody is welcome, but Black folk will always be my target to find and have joy. And right now, more than ever, we need those spaces. So that's what we are aiming to do.
I consider what you're doing one of the most powerful things there is to be doing in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm originally from California, as you know, and I think we probably do a little bit more frolicking out there, a little bit in some ways.
It's cultural. It's cultural.
But still, in every way, everything that you name, I even bump up against it all the time. You try to get me to come to a steampunk thing one time, and I was like, I ain't got no steampunk clothes. I don't even look good in a vest. What, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I thought about it later, and I thought, man, she's getting Black folks to dress in costume. First of all, take off the cool, take off the uniform, that we wearing, the protection armor that we got to wear, and be out there and be vulnerable in costume, and take shoes off and frolic in the grass and walk around trees without feeling like I don't even know what, like you feeling like you're selling out or whatever Black folks be. I ain't got no time for that. That's the first thing that comes to my mind is me going, I ain't got no time to be frolicking around by them trees, like wearing all them funny clothes and stuff. What's that? What's all that? So Tony Johnson said frolicking means something different to us old folks. Thank you for current definition. That's funny. But I really do feel like, Lacey Lamar in the chat. What's going on, Lacey? I love Jade. Can't wait for Afrocon. It's an amazing experience. It really is, man. And the biggest part about that is that you're getting Black folks that it's the same thing with me. I always said if I ever start a nonprofit, all I'm going to do is get young Black boys out of Omaha, go fly somewhere else, go see something else, go see how other people live. And you're doing it in Omaha. You're actually getting Black folks to step outside their comfort zone in Omaha. And I just really feel like out of all the organizations that we're partners with, you are doing some of the hardest work to do. And I know that because it's personally hard for me to engage in some of the things that you got going on. Like, it's just hard to see myself in that space. And I thought, and I'm like, I'm California, I'm a little bit freer than that, but I'm still having a hard time with that. So tell me about how you get folks to do this.
If you make the space, they will show up.
Mm-hmm.
I remember someone told me that no one was going to dress up when we did our Black to the Future ball. Someone, I won't name who.
Jade.
Said Black folks aren't going to dress up for that futuristic clothes.
Hey.
And people did. Because if you make the space, people will show up. Our first Juneteenth Steampunk Tea Party, because we talked about it during the pandemic, I'd say 90% of people showed up in steampunk Victorian clothes. By the next year, it was 95%.
Wow.
And we're still there. And
Nice.
because we put the book out, which is the portraits of all of the portraits that are taken at the event, I assemble into a book and include Black history from Omaha and national, and beautiful pictures of Black Victorians that we don't often see. Then people really stepped it up. And this year, last 2 years, we've been in Jocelyn Castle. But you have time to get ready for June 13th, 12th, 13th, 14th next year, Paul. You have time to get ready because not only will there be a vintage market on that Friday, there'll be a ball on Saturday night and a garden party. So you need 2 outfits, but don't let that stop you.
Come on now. You got a whole year this time, is what you said.
You got a whole year. And okay, I haven't really told people what the theme is.
Uh-oh.
So this year it was Victorian Wakanda. And next year's theme is the Timekeepers of Timbuktu.
I like that.
It.
Okay.
I want people
why is that? Tell me about that.
It's an opportunity to do some storytelling with your outfit. So you can be one of the timekeepers, you can be a warrior, but Timbuktu is a real city. I remember growing up, we didn't think it was a real city. It was just something you said. A lot of way to Timbuktu. No, it is a real place. And so it's an opportunity for people to learn a real history, because Wakanda is a made up place.
Right.
But Timbuktu is a real place that we should know, with a vast history, libraries that people are still trying to protect.
Man.
And
wow.
Universities.
What would happen if we could go back and protect that? What would we be doing? What would it look like? So,
man,
throwing the history in there with everything as well, for sure.
I mean, you got to, you have to. Is how can you talk about a future without acknowledging the past? I mean,
yes,
love it.
Yeah. Also, a little more information. Lacey Lamar in the chat saying there's a possibility, chance to win some tickets during this event.
Yes. So Lacey is one of our judges for the cosplay contest. And the top prize, among other things, will be 2 tickets to see The Wiz.
That's what's up,
man. Blackity black event, blackity black. But I do love that. Like, I don't think that this conversation has had enough, especially in the Black community, as far as like blurs and just having a safe space, and just the freedom. Kind of, going back to what Paul was saying about Black people not dressing up like that, and just not having that mentality. And I think we've all heard it, in conversations in our community. Why are you doing that white stuff? Why are you on this, that, and the third? And actually, I remember learning about the plights of the Blerd community in college. A classmate of mine did a documentary looking at a few cases where Blerds, i.e. Black nerds, were actually attacked, and some even lost their lives trying to dress up as characters and not being accepted at conventions, and kids dressing up to school and being bullied at school for dressing up. And the just Black people being free enough, not just from outside society, but within our own communities, to express ourselves and to be ourselves and to have that safe space. So again, in this season of Space is the Place, cannot talk enough about creating those types of spaces and what it means to be free, like what freedom really looks like and what it really feels like and what it really means in all of its fullness, if you will.
And dressing up may not be for everybody. Quiet as kept. I'm not a huge cosplay person. I love my elf ears, but I'm gonna keep it real simple. I love Victorian clothing, so that's an easy one for me. But it's not for everybody. But it is for enough of us that didn't have that opportunity, that said, oh man, I would love to do this. So that's who it is for. And I think just allowing people to be free to explore and be somebody else, just be somebody else for 3 hours out of a day. I think now more than ever, we need space to just walk away, do something completely different, be a different person for a couple of hours, and then go back to this world that we live in and your day to day. That freedom to just step into a role, and be an actor and play in clothing, and costumes. It's just about the freedom to do it, and it's also for our kids to see adults doing it. So people always think that I'm doing it for the kids. I'm not. I'm doing it for the kids, but also I'm targeting adults, because if the kids can see us playing, then they don't feel othered when they think about what they want to do in school, because they're still having the same, um, rejection, isolation, comments when they talk about comics, gaming, nerdiness, in school. They're still being othered. They don't talk about it, they don't talk about it like we didn't talk about it. It's still the bullying is still happening, but if they see that, oh, there's a space over there with people that look just like me and they like the things that I like, then it can't be wrong. When we make the space and we show them that this is a space for you too, then they can walk right into it in a world that they've never had to question whether it was right for them. They'll never have to question whether my love of Star Wars, no matter how many people will attack me online for liking this thing, I know that there's a community of people that like and love this thing and have always liked and love it. So it's for me too.
Yeah. And also, finding not just identity but strength through those stories. The storytelling aspect of it. A friend of mine, who's an avid anime watcher, kind of broke down like every anime that he watches is about going against the system, is about, in all actuality, the Black experience, like being oppressed and going against oppressive forces and systems. So it is very interesting. And beyond that, I don't know, Paul, if you wanted to keep talking about the Afrocon, but I did want to ask about your work outside of Afrocon, because it's also very paramount to the conversation we're having. But Paul,
Yeah, I wanted to ask the same thing. So yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that and come back and give people details on Afrocon in a minute. But yeah, tell us about your work. Tell us about the other things that are going on.
Oh man, where to start? Well, I will say, because literally there are so many things happening right now. One, I'm working with Terry Sanders and the Omaha Star as their archivist, working on a couple of projects.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing a little more writing for a couple publications and getting some history out into the world. And then our young history detectives, that does keep busy. Our youth program are the Young History Detectives, and they learn history from me in an unfiltered manner, because they ask questions, they have questions, and they deserve to know things. And most importantly, I'm trying to teach them how to do research and ask questions, and know that there are the resources there that can answer their questions when they have to step around a teacher, because so many of them have questions and their teachers can't answer them, whether they want to or not. And that's just the reality of where we are. So we have to equip them with the tools to be able to find the answers that they need and are looking for, and interrogate where they got those answers from. So they're learning research skills. They are learning the history of North Omaha by addresses on 16th, 30th, and 24th Streets. They get an address, they learn the life of that address from the 19 teens to the present day. And through that, they have an understanding of what this community is, what it has been, the resources and businesses that were here and are no longer here, and the people that ran those businesses. So they get a different understanding of the community from its institutions and the people that ran them, and then the people associated with those people. So they get a lot.
Interesting.
How do you see that realization kind of impacting them? Are they kind of more eager to be involved in the community? Do they have more questions? What
They have questions, and the biggest one is, well, why are those things not there now? Because what they're learning are there were multiple movie theaters where plays were produced, roller rinks, bowling alleys. This year we found, and a lot of them, we're looking at businesses that were not around when I was young, so I didn't know that they were there. I didn't know that there was a pet store on 30th Street owned by Black people. I didn't know that. And just little things that we'll find. And so that store may not have been there for 10 years, but it was there for 2 or 3. And we found it, and we know who ran it. And we know that that was something that the community obviously needed, because they were around supplying food and whatever else pet stores offer. And that's just a small thing. But what they understand is this was a thriving, vibrant community with access to things that they don't currently see. So ultimately the questions will be, what does the community need? Because they will know what was where and when.
And possibly what happened to it.
Interesting.
Man, that's beautiful.
I had forgotten about the History Detectives program that you guys are doing. I love that. That's such a cool thing. For if I was a kid, I would absolutely be part of that.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And they're teenagers that spend 3 weeks with me in the summertime doing history stuff. So
yeah, I love it.
But I also give them a lot of time to just be. So we take a nap. We have a 3:00 tea time. Get a mat, lay down, and they all want tea. I said it was tea time, just as a thing that we're just gonna rest. But no, they want tea in July. They're like, "Where's the tea? Do we have any mint?" Like,
yeah.
You said tea time, right? Where the
I said tea time. They want tea every afternoon at 3:00. But then they also have time to do arts, and they get to choose. I let them choose, because it's like I told them, I have blocks of time where they get to choose what they learn and what they do. Because who am I to tell them what's fun? They need to start telling me what it is that they want to do. So crochet has been a big thing for all of them every year. They want more crochet time and instruction and materials. And I let them teach themselves, because I don't crochet. So I teach me. But just opportunities like that for them to be the teacher and to have a choice of what they do, I think is important, and something that we can't necessarily do in the school system. So I don't want to be like the school system. I've taught in the school system. I know how that works. We try to do everything opposite.
Man, there it is. Any talk about a history detective class for adults? We have one chat chimer saying yes, because we've been lied to about our true identity in history. I want to take the history detective class. So any opportunities for adults?
There will be, because I said initially that this was a 5-year project. This was year 5, and that we would start taking the data collected every summer and start putting that into, it's already in a database, but start putting it into a VR tour experience and exhibition.
Ooh, nice.
And so next year is the year that we start implementing some of those things. They still need to do research, but we're starting to look at what do we do with that research. We did a little bit of it this year, and they started to talk about how they wanted an exhibition to look and how interactive they want it to be. But we also recognize that there are so many more addresses that we don't get to. I only have them for 2 to 3 weeks in the summer, and we do need help. So there will be opportunities for some adults to come in and help with this process and do some of this research.
Man, that's it's a great idea. It even kind of made me think about like if you're familiar with the Pokemon Go app, where people can go into physical locations in real life and scan things and maybe even get some it's very exciting.
Yeah.
I love it. We are. I'm sitting here thinking about all the things that you do. I want to ask you so many more questions about. We're coming to the end of the show though, so we got to have you back. But I want to definitely make sure that we talk about Afrocon coming up. But I got questions about the movie reviews that you were doing, the League of Interesting Black Folks, whatever the name of that group was.
The League of Excellent Extraordinary Negroes.
There you go.
There you go.
So there's so much stuff that goes on throughout the year, but you have your annual event, Afrocon, and this is what the 5th or 6th year now, isn't it?
This is year number 7.
Whoa, okay, year number 7. This is going to be back at over there, Building 24 at Metropolitan Community College, the North Campus.
Yes.
And Power of Imagination. Tell us a little bit about this and how you can get tickets and stuff to it.
You can get tickets at afroscapescurls.com or afroconomaha.com. Tickets are $30 for adults, $15 for kids. We do have an esports tournament. Those tickets are $10, and then there's a $5 buy-in. So we've expanded our esports this year and working with folks that run tournaments so that it is a little bit bigger. So there will be esports tournaments. People can sign up now for those. There's also casual gameplay. There might be some arcade games. There will definitely be board games. Our friends over at NewCon are going to be there to help run and teach board games, so you don't have to sit down and feel like you got to read all the directions. There'll be a person, if you're interested in that game, they can show you how to play that game. And then we have a beautiful vendor market. So please come and bring your money and support these Black and brown people. And then we have our panels, and we have some amazing panels. We'll be talking about anime and K-pop Demon Hunter and Sinners. Sinners is a whole panel. Sinners is a whole panel. And then our friends like Johnny No Good and Lathan Murray, they will be Lathan Morrell. Are we talking about the things that they do in the community? Lathan is doing one on Black horror. So there are lots of panels and conversations, and I kind of structured them so that they don't all overlap, so you can get to most everything. And then our standard meetups, because you got to have a meetup at Afrocon. A space where you can just walk in the room and know the people that are coming in this room like the thing that you like. So there'll be a person with a question and y'all can just talk. So of course, there's always Star Wars versus Star Trek. And the other meetup is the Marvel Universe versus James Gunn.
Okay.
Who came up with these? Who came up with those? It was all you. I knew it.
Just those. Every other panel, those are community led things that people are interested in. I don't make those up.
That's cool.
And then we've got food trucks. We've got workshops in the prototype lab. So if you've never been in the prototype lab, we work with the prototype lab, and there will be a 3D printing workshop, a laser cutting workshop, and you're making a charcuterie board and UV printing, and you're making coasters. And so all of those things are available, and you walk home with those with your admission.
Love it. That's what's up. It's going down. Afrocon Omaha, the 7th edition of that is happening on the 11th. This is because it's coming up Saturday. Get your
Yeah,
tickets. Get your
type in.
tickets. If you haven't gotten your costumes together, you still got a little bit of time to do that. And just to let y'all know, I ain't completely completely not with what's going on. I did come to one of them. Me and Lacey. Lacey getting our futurism on right there a little bit. So yeah, it goes down, and I tell you, every time I do show up to one of these things, it's a great time. It's a good time. You've been doing this back in the day. We actually had a Mind and Soul radio table at one of the early Afrocons back in the
Yep.
day, and I've been looking forward to trying to get back to doing something like that again with you. So really appreciate you coming on, telling us about it. Obviously, we need to bring you back, have some more time. There's so much going on all throughout the year with House of Afro Capes and Curls, not just Afrocon. We got to talk about all of it because I
Yeah.
feel like you're an institution in our neighborhoods, and people need to know all of what's going on with what you got going on. So we appreciate you. You're a storyteller and an educator and a facilitator, and a space is the place facilitator and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You're all the lanes as far as we're concerned over here. All the lanes. So thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for being you and doing what you do. It wouldn't be Omaha without what you got going on. I'll tell you that. I didn't get to my question about how many white folks show up to these things, and if you got more black folks coming this year. But we'll talk about it next time you come on, because
Oh,
that's
we're the majority.
we're the
Oh
majority.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's what's up.
Yeah, we're the
Because
majority.
we always have that conversation like every year because white folks see how cool this is too, and they come and they're welcome. Everybody's welcome.
Hmm.
And but we do this for black folks, and so it always am like black folks coming on. Are they coming back? Are they coming with this? Are they bringing in new
Yeah,
folks? So that's what's up. I
yeah.
appreciate it because
It's
it's for us to frolic and put on pointy ears and stuff like that. So there
That
it
part.
is.
yeah. I'm always very clear. Our friends are welcome, but I the family is who I am targeting.
There you go. For the fam.
I
Yeah.
hear you. People, I'm seeing some chat on Facebook. People saying, "Please come back." Everybody's giving you some big ups. Yes, Jade. Everybody
Thank you.
loves you. We appreciate you, and I will definitely have you on soon again.
Thank you. And give somebody, I have 2 tickets to give
Ah,
away to Afrocon. So the cosplay contest is at 1 o'clock, so you can still get your stuff ready. But I'd like to give away some tickets to Afrocon, and I'll let you
okay.
all figure out how to do that.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Appreciate that. Hit us up over at firstskyOmaha@gmail.com. First person to email that they want those 2 tickets gets them.
First
I
come,
mean,
first serve.
make it simple. First come, first serve. Thank you so much for that, Jade. Appreciate that very
Yeah.
much.
Of course.
We'll
Thank
we'll
you for
forward that
having me.
information on to you when we get that.
All right.
Right on. Have
Hey.
a good one. So we'll talk to you soon.
Peace.
Peace,
Bye.
peace, peace. Oh man,
Hey.
always a pleasure.
Man.
I can't. We. There's so much that she does.
Man.
We got to get into it. We got to get into it.
Yeah, that history detective, that's right up my alley. Yeah.
Me and you would have been in there with that for real,
man,
for real,
man, man. But yeah, I might have to holler at him. Some ideas. Some ideas.
for sure. 9:03 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we're already over past the time we were going to shut this down. Buddy, you got some words for the people?
Yeah, man. This has been another edition of First Guy Omaha in the morning. Paul.
In the morning.
Hey, big shout out to everybody joining the conversation. As always, letting your mind be free, letting your voice be heard. That's the important thing. Again, we're here to have the conversation to try to figure out what's going on around us and go from there to have some marching orders, some action steps to make this world just a little better place, man, for all of us. That's what it's about. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you for your continued support. Make sure to tell a friend and tell a friend. We're seeing some new names in the chat, so welcome. Make sure you let your people know, man. Spread the word. Let the secret out. First Guy Omaha in the morning. We're here to do the thing. Hey, continually growing. So again, we appreciate the support. Look out for us on social media. As always, we're dropping more content, working on other projects, Lanes of Change, a weekly rap, and a few other things to look out for. So in the meantime, between time, make sure you RSVP for the Fun Fest. I will be in town. It's going down.
Hey,
Yeah, man. Hey,
October 18th, next Saturday.
10
After that,
days. 10 days from today.
Omaha Press Club is going down. Get your registration going on now. As a matter of fact, I'll try to grab that registration for you real quick. Just go
Yeah.
ahead and jump on in on it.
Tap
And
in. Tap
yeah,
in.
tap in, man. It's filling up a little bit. I can't put it in the chat. Oh man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, while he works on that, I do give a shout out to those who have already RSVP for that. Yeah, we appreciate you, man. Celebrate with us. It's a celebration. So,
It's a celebration.
With that, man, Paul B, we're about 5 minutes over the thing.
Mhm.
Go ahead and take it away.
Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in both of the chats over. I got other windows open with everybody's chat in there, since I can't see it.
Yeah. Sorry if we missed some of those chats too. Looks like have some tech difficulties on that side.
Definitely. So thank you for that. The registration is in the chat. Go ahead and hit that link and come on through on the 18th. In the meantime, between time, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. So check it out. We want to give a shout out to the Umaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you, and shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. I apologize for some of the rhetoric that came in today. I thought that a lot of those things were shut down, but we will go back and make sure that they're people that are blocked from being able to come into the chat, which is I've been working on all week long now because of what's been going on. So there it is. Appreciate it. Yep, I see Herbine R. Wax Hogan in the chat. New name there. I appreciate you coming through, checking us out. Thank you so much. And thank you for everybody who's been along with the ride on this conversation with us. We'll see you Friday. We do have a special guest coming in on Friday. We're going to be talking to Calvin Williams and Brother Marcos Eduardo, who is the leader of that the band that played Bud Crawford walked out to, the South Side, mix of the mariachi bands, all the different players from all the different bands that got together and did that. So we'll be speaking to him about how that experience was and about a big Latino concert coming up. So stay tuned for that on Friday. We'll be talking to him, and much more to come. In the meantime, we'll be here taking care, trying to do what we can do. Go ahead and check out your heater situation in your family's homes. Make sure the heat is working, because it's starting to cool off here a little bit, and people gonna start turning that heat on. And stay safe, and make sure that you guys take care of yourselves and take care of each other. We'll see you on Friday. Peace. We're out.
Peace.
By the way, Vanguard, this is protected by the red, the black, and the green.